Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Master Sergeant Joe W. McFadden, Visual Information Command, and it is my distinct honor to welcome you to this, the White House Communications Agency's 32nd Annual Awards Ceremony. This ceremony, and today, commemorates 80 years of service to 15 presidents of the United States. Yeah. Please rise for the singing of the national anthem and the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Will you please join me in a moment for prayer? God of grace, for 80 years it has been the honor of the men and women of the White House Communications Agency to be the voice of the President. Thank you for the 32 soldiers who began this journey in the midst of World War II, and for the thousands of joint service members and civilians who follow the trail they blazed. In the words of President Obama, we are the keepers of this legacy. On the 80th anniversary of WHCA, we celebrate the best of 2021. We celebrate Loggies, Hub Heroes, Loan Sharks, South Court Superstars, Camp Champions, Pros, Switchboard Saints, Walk Warriors, and all the servant leaders who are the voice of the President. Our winners navigated adversity and triumphed by calling upon the courage, compassion, and grit required to be a part of WHCA. Thank you for the families, friends, and mentors of our winners. Their support, encouragement, sacrifice, and love made the difference. We also proudly induct former WHCA members into our Hall of Fame. They inspire us. WHCA is a special place and time, and we are grateful and proud of our past. Thank you for this time to celebrate WHCA. As our ceremony begins, we pray for the people of the Ukraine, WHCA members on travel, our loved ones, and the nation we serve. And as we move forward into our 81st year, making our best better, may we be encouraged by the words of President Reagan when he said, "While I take inspiration from the past, like most Americans, I live for the future." With hope and faith, we live for the future and pray these things in the name of the God who loves us. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you, Chaplain Bonsack, for those inspiring words, and we'd also like to thank another round of applause for the WHCA Quartet Mr. Butler, Ms. Renfro, Sergeant First Class Galvez, and Sergeant Buckley. At this time, please welcome me in joining our special guest. We ask that you please hold your applause until all guests have been acknowledged. The Commander, White House Communications Agency, and host for today's ceremony, Colonel Joy Kaiser. The Senior Enlisted Leader, White House Communications Agency, Command Sergeant Major Sean Mitchum. Assistant to the Director, Defense Information Systems Agency, Major General Garrett Yee. Senior Enlisted Advisor, Headquarters, Defense Information Systems Agency, Chief Master Sergeant David Klink. Director, White House Information Technology, Mr. David Recorden. Special Assistant to the President, Mr. Austin Lynn. Special Assistant to the President and Deputy Director, White House Information Technology, Marcela Escobar Alava. Deputy Commander, White House Communications Agency, Colonel Brian Jorgensen. Command Chief Warrant Officer, White House Communications Agency, Chief Warrant Officer 5, Aaron Tyler. And Chief of Staff, White House Communications Agency, Mr. Harold Gonzalez. We would also like to extend a warm welcome to the agency's former commanders, Command Sergeants Major, retired general officers, along as extend a sincere welcome to our leaders, family members, friends, current WHCA members, and all of you at home and around the world serving with the WHCA mission. Thank you for marking this incredible moment in our agency's history. Today we are going to honor history and we are going to make history as part of this annual celebration. To fully capture the scope of this task, our Visual Information Command has compiled a video that captured WHCA in action through 2021.
Five, four, three, two, one.
link. Appreciate it. Mr. Recorder and Mr. Lynn, Marcella, thank you all for being here today, and our extended family that is here. I know we have a lot of former commanders and CSMs in the house. Can you stand up so we can recognize you? I know you're here. Cool. Thank you. We have a lot of WHCA alum too. Stand up, alum. It's our 80th birthday. We have reason to celebrate, and you're a part of that. Thank you. So we do have a lot to celebrate, and there's a lot of people that helped get us here, especially the 47 people that we are going to recognize today for their outstanding work this year, their efforts, their individual efforts, and then really what they enabled us to do as a team. But what I know is we can't do what we do without our family. So we have some family here in the audience. I know we have a lot online, so thank you to the families online. If they are family here, stand up. We want to recognize you. Woo-hoo! Don't be shy. There is a lot to be grateful for, and this is a day of celebration. Our 80th anniversary. 80 years of WHCA, and Chaplain, as usual, stole all my thunder and all the good words, and CSM stole this. So just indulge me a little to share a little more with you and just reiterate that it was 80 years ago that 32 soldiers were asked to support the President of the United States. Think about what was going on back in 1942. Doesn't look much different than what we're dealing with today. We were at war, and the president needed to get orders out to his commanders. He needed to be able to communicate with his leadership. So a small team was put together to do exactly that. And they used very rudimentary technology. You all got fancy stuff now. And we worked on even stuff. They used very basic capabilities to make sure that the president could communicate. And that's what you all do today. And the organization changed over the years. It shrunk down. They were bound to just some basic radio capabilities on switchboard. We still do that today. And it almost went away. Many of you may not know this, and I did not know this, until our very own Master McFarland told me and showed me the memo that then Major McNally wrote to the U.S. Secret Service saying what a bad idea it was that some general, we won't name the general, made the decision to cut this organization, communications unit that was supporting the president. He told what they do cannot be done by anyone else. And what they do to provide communications to the president is critical to national security. That's fundamentally what he said. Here we are today. Bigger and better. And we have turned into this amazing joint organization. And yes, we even have guardians. No billets yet. We're working on it. Of over 1,300 joint service members, civilians, and contractors that make this mission happen. Every day. And as we were going through our update brief this morning, I'm watching on one screen the president touch down in Poland on Air Force One, knowing there's WHCA members there on the ground ready to support and on the aircraft, making sure the president can communicate with everything going on in the world today. And again, we do that with the host of people that enable us, many of whom are here today, including our partners from on the base and across the organizations, DISA, and all the other entities that support us. We know we can't do without you, so thank you to all of you for enabling us to do what we do. But I want to take a moment to recognize these individuals. And I know not all of you are here today, but 47 people that we are going to recognize today for their outstanding efforts of making this mission happen. In a time of crisis, you all remember this, we had this award ceremony. It didn't seem like that long ago, General. We're doing this last June because of COVID. But think of what we've done, bringing on a new administration in the middle of a pandemic, transitioning people in and out safely, deploying thousands of new devices. And then as the new administration came on and we had these great ideas of technology we needed to deploy, the president now Zooms. We have Zoom operators. Where are Zoomer operators at? We have any in the audience today? All right, there we go. I know we get more than that. They're working right now, I'm sure. The staff uses them. Right? We've deployed all new capabilities. We've improved our defenses of our network. We're working on additional capabilities and networks to support the President and the White House. And that's all of you. And there was a lot of work in the background, yes, by our loan sharks, to help make sure we can fund all of these great ideas and put them on contract. And by all of you in the back, some of you on the front line and some of you in the background supporting all of these efforts. And 24/7 customer service that we provide for all these services. Our mission never sleeps, we know that. And then we do all this with grace, under pressure, with no notice, and this is when I would poke on Colonel Hoffman, but he's not here. And our audiovisual team moves stuff minutes before arrival because, well, the sun just doesn't look right here. And that's what you all do. You provide presidential quality. You have been part of an 80-year legacy of providing presidential quality, and you continue to live up to that today, so thank you. You continue to make our best better, individually and more importantly, as this diverse, dynamic team, you make our best better. So thank you for that. And I'll end with this. I have quotes, and since the first president we supported was Roosevelt, I found one that was actually very indicative of what we're celebrating today. We talked about your dedication. We are known for our innovation. I actually think that was in one. They talked about the innovation that this team brings. And so President Roosevelt once said, happiness lies in the joy of achievement and the thrill of creative effort. And I really think that epitomizes the people that we are recognizing today, the team that we are recognizing, and what you have done individually and collectively. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Colonel Kaiser. And Colonel Kaiser and CSM, would you please join for the back of the stage for the presentation of the awards. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are recognizing our annual awardees who are selected through a very competitive process. These men and women represent all who have chosen to serve our great nation. Their selection to be here as we celebrate their many accomplishments is a testament to their personal dedication, sacrifice, and their outstanding achievements. Before naming our respective annual award winners, the Command Sergeant Major Ricky T. Witcher Leadership Award, and our inductees into the WHCA Hall of Fame, it is now time to recognize the White House Communications Agency's All-Stars. That's right. This recognition deserves extra attention this year. These 27 individuals represent the best of 14 different commands and sections. They have earned the trust and admiration of their teammates as they regularly execute their missions to the highest degree of presidential quality excellence. And a special consideration for this year, All-Star recipients will receive a wooden donut hole from wood created at the South Court Auditorium, created by the wonderful people of the Fabrication Shop and the Digital Multimedia Center. All right. This year's White House Communications Agency's All-Stars are, from WHCA Headquarters, Sergeant Emily Morell.
For those of you that don't know, Star Morell is my exec, so I probably owe her a much bigger award than this.
From J1, YN1, Lauren Mullins. From J2, Staff Sergeant April DeVries. Our next recipient is unable to attend, but we have someone accepting in his stead. So please, round of applause for J2, Staff Sergeant Joshua Hogan. Accepting on his behalf is Corporal Michael Julian. Our next individual is also not able to be here today, but he will have his award accepted by the next recipient when I call their name. So, please, ladies and gentlemen, from J3, round of applause, Sergeant First Class Manlio Bobadilla. And from J3, Sergeant First Class Timothy Litz.
Change this up. So many.
Our next individual is also unable to attend, and you have someone on his behalf. From J4, Staff Sergeant William Downey. Accepting on his behalf, Staff Sergeant Hamilton Vargas Cruz.
Thank you.
Our next individual is also on travel, a common theme you'll hear today. From J4, Staff Sergeant William Downey. And accepting on his behalf, ETC Philip Martinez.
We need to pause for a second. Thanks for being here. Thank you.
From J5, Captain Teresa Koziol. From J6, Technical Sergeant Andrew Rumbaugh. Our next individual is also not here. From J7, Miss Sonia Haggerty. Accepting on her behalf, Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Watts. From the Executive Services Command, IT-1 Lauren Saul. From the Executive Services Command, Corporal Nathan Wallace. From the Executive Services Command, Sergeant First Class Brittany Roberson.
That's what I'm talking about. They like you. Congratulations.
From the Executive Network Command, IT-1 Jonathan Hall. From the Executive Network Command, IT-1 Devin White. From the Executive Network Command, Staff Sergeant Samantha Taylor. And again, the next two recipients are unable to be here, but they will be accepted by the third. So first round of applause, please, from the Presidential Communications Command, Sergeant Cyril Jason Poblete. And from the Presidential Communications Command, Sergeant Kent McRae. And now, from the Presidential Communications Command, Staff Sergeant Clayton Stevens. From the Special Missions Command, Technical Sergeant Brett Van Kirk. From the Special Missions Command, ET-1 Sean Hendrick. From the Special Missions Command, Technical Sergeant Joseph Tai. There you go. From the Special Missions Command, Sergeant Gavin Beasley. So the next two individuals also could not be here. From the Visual Information Command, IC1 Karima Richard. And from the Visual Information Command, and this is actually a very true story, we just have some good news on behalf of the next recipient. Just welcomed a new family member to walk on the Visual Information Command. Today, the 80th birthday, I add. This is on behalf of the new child, on behalf of Sergeant Joseph Friend. And accepting on their behalf is their commander, Lieutenant Colonel Carlos Jaime.
How we feel, man, Caligas?
And from the White House Medical Unit, also unable to attend, but in our hearts, HS2 Chad Gustafson. And once more, thank you again. A round of applause for all of our All-Stars. Ladies and gentlemen, our next category highlights our enlisted, commissioned, and civilian persons of the year. These recipients stand out not only for excellence within their respective disciplines and commands, but as the best among our Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and civilian fields. In addition to earning this prestigious title, some have also earned different titles within the Defense Information Systems Agency. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Junior Enlisted Person of the Year for the White House Communications Agency is, from the Executive Services Command, Corporal Michael Cisse. Accepting on his behalf is Senior Master Sergeant Michael Coates. And now, the Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year for the White House Communications Agency is, from the Special Missions Command, Sergeant Lauren Slinkard. And now, the Senior Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year for the White House Communications Agency is, from J6, Master Sergeant Adam Richards. And now, the Company Grade Officer of the Year for the White House Communications Agency is, from the Executive Services Command, Captain Juan Gonzalez. And now, the Field Grade Officer of the Year for the White House Communications Agency is, from the Visual Information Command, Major Chirito Corbin.
You got a fan club.
And now, the Junior Civilian of the Year for the White House Communications Agency is, from the Special Missions Command, Mr. Kendall Tripp. Accepting on his behalf is the Commander, Special Missions Command, Major Mark Anderson. And finally, the Senior Civilian of the Year for the White House Communications Agency is, from J3, Mr. Rusty Rich. All right. We will now have all of our annual award winners line up on stage for a group photo.
pretend like we like each other? Okay. Turn, turn. Come on, we know how to do this. Oh, there we go.
All right, very good.
I think I'll open the-
Oh, good. We are also honored to have representatives from our partners in industry with us today who wish to make a presentations to our annual military and civilian awardees for 2021. Let's see here. On behalf of the USAA, Force Master Chief Ronnie Wright, from Geico, Brian Schlitt, and from the 1600 Communications Association, members at large, retired Command Sergeant Major Samuel Watkins and retired Master Sergeant Danny Young.
There. There. Yep.
All right, one more round of applause for our annual award winners. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, we are not only honoring history today, we are making history. For the first time, we are awarding 2 new categories to very special members of our community. Though they may not always wear the military uniform or travel on the missions, they know too well the meaning of service and sacrifice, for they are indeed members of our WHCA family. These are the 2021 Go-To Spouse Representative of the Year and the 2021 WHCA Family Member of the Year Awards. Ladies and gentlemen, the White House Communications Agency Go-To Spouse of the Year is Mrs. Elizabeth Rodriguez.
Isn't that pretty? I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the White House Communications Agency Family Member of the Year is Mrs. Casey Long.
I can't hear you. All right, there we go. Her daughter's a want you to cheer really loud, so thank you so much.
All right, and another round of applause for our go-to spouse and family member of the year, Walk of History.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. At this time, we'd like to welcome Mrs. Witcher to the stage. We will now present the Command Sergeant Major Ricky T. Witcher Leadership Award.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, mic on.
Oh, sir.
Here?
CSM mic.
Yeah. You can go and bring out the award, please. So again, hey, it's a very special day, not just the annual awards or 80th anniversary, but to have Mrs. Witcher join us once again to honor the legacy of her husband and provide this award that is going to go to the senior enlisted member of our agency that demonstrated the values that he held most close to him: duty, honor, and country. And one of the best things about, and ma'am, we didn't get a chance to talk about this, was to sit on this panel and to review the packets and the ones out there that competed for this award. And it was one of the highlights of my job to see the number of service members and enlisted members that are doing so much in this agency, not just in-house, but to the community and partnering out there. It was really tough to decide who it was, but it is my pleasure to introduce and congratulate First Sergeant Curtis Dondiano.
Carry this thing. You got it.
Don't break it.
Another beautiful masterpiece by our team.
Woo. Thank you.
Appreciate you being here. It means so much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Continue to do your husband honor.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you, Mrs. Witcher.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, some personnel who serve at the White House Communications Agency leave lasting imprints that can be recognized for years to come. At this time, Colonel Kaiser will now welcome the newest inductees into the White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame, which, courtesy of the Digital Multimedia Center, is enshrined alongside the hallway near the Carla Hawkins at Building 399. Our first inductee is Colonel James Riley. Colonel Riley has served 3 separate tours with the agency since 2007, culminating as WHCA's 27th commander until January 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome 2022 White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame inductee, Colonel James Riley.
I think he had 4 tours.
Our next inductee is Lieutenant Colonel Adam Salazar. Colonel Salazar served as contracting officer as a presidential communications officer with J7 during his tour with WHCA from January 2019 to June 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud our 2022 White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame inductee, Lieutenant Colonel Adam Salazar. Our next inductee is Chief Warrant Officer 4, Ellen Smith. CW4 Smith served as the Secretary of Joint Staff and Commander of the WHCA's headquarters and headquarters company from February 2019 to February 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud our 2022 White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame inductee, CW4 Ellen Smith. Our next inductee is CW4 Jacob Wildy. CW4 Wildy served as Technical Senior Advisor and Presidential Communications Officer from April 2016 through July 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud our 2022 White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame inductee, CW4 Jacob Wildy. Our next inductee is retired Command Sergeant Major Timothy Lehman. CSM served as WHCA's Command Sergeant Major from June 2018 to November 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud our 2022 White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame inductee, Command Sergeant Major Timothy Lehman.
Now
Our next inductee is Chief Master Sergeant Marcus Joseph. Chief Joseph served within J5 and as a White House military office lead from October 2015 to July 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud our 2022 White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame inductee, Chief Master Sergeant Marcus Joseph. Our next inductee is Master Sergeant Carice Cash. Master Sergeant Cash served WHCA from 2017 to October 2021, culminating as the first sergeant of the Headquarters and Headquarters Company. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud our 2022 White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame inductee, Master Sergeant Carice Cash. Our next inductee is Ms. Joy Mines. Yeah.
You're low.
Ms. Mines served 2 tours with WHCA as a Vice Presidential Communications Response Officer from 2007 to 2013, and as a Lead Presidential Communications Officer Training Instructor from 2017 to 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud our 2022 White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame inductee, Ms. Joy Mines. Our next inductee is Mr. Scott Weister. Mr. Weiser served as an audiovisual specialist and superintendent of event productions within the Visual Information Command for nearly 20 years, beginning in July from this range. Ladies and gentlemen, please applaud our 2022 White House Communications Agency Communications Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Scott Weister. Our final inductee is Mr. Robert Ohm. Sadly, Mr. Ohm recently passed away. I'll be reading the citation that accompanied this honor. Robert Ohm, United States Navy, retired, distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious service as Chief of the Electronic Branch, Commander of the Defense Communications Support Unit, and WHCA Operations Officer, White House Communications Agency, Washington, D.C., from 1 November 1976 to 31 December 1985. During this period, his technical skills, initiatives, and leadership resulted in significant improvements to presidential communication support. As a presidential trip officer, he traveled on more than 90 domestic and overseas trips. From very large trips supporting President Reagan's historic visit to the People's Republic of China or a World Economic Summit to many short notice trips requiring quick, decisive decisions, he excelled and never failed to deliver outstanding support under the most demanding of conditions. His calm, steady leadership, time and again, proved to be the difference when failure was not an option. His leadership and innovations revolutionized radio and satellite support for the White House and dramatically improved reliability and responsiveness of the White House Communications Agency. His leadership after his retirement from active duty in civilian industry, his community, and with the 1600 Communications Association clearly demonstrate his commitment and dedication to serving. The distinguished accomplishments of Mr. Robert Ohm reflect the highest traditions of the White House Communications Agency and the 1600 Communications Association, and warrant his posthumous induction into the White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, accepting on his behalf, his widow, Patricia, and his son, Chris, please applaud our 2022 White House Communications Agency Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. Robert Ohm.
Let you hold that. We got another. Here we go. All right. Thank you so much. It sounds like he's done a lot for us. We really appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. It means a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to the Ohm family and to all of our Hall of Fame inductees. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we said throughout this program, WHCA is one team and one family. And to think that our agency of more than 1,000 service members, civilians, and contractors originally started as a handful of soldiers serving in the basement of the White House during World War II. And throughout those 8 decades since, every member of WHCA, comprised of service members from now all 6 military branches, assured global information services to the President and Vice President and others as directed, ensuring the White House is able to communicate with anyone under any condition. When the nation and the world looked, listened, and read about the decisions that define history, our agency was there as the President's elite communications unit. And now for a special presentation on WHCA's 80th anniversary, please welcome Command Sergeant Major Sean Mitchum.
So I'm going to go a little bit off script. Master Sergeant Joe McFadden, can you please jump on stage real quick? Ma'am, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Go for it, CSM.
Okay. So for those of you that don't know, Joe McFadden has been the voice of WHCA for his service here. He's volunteered, stepped up, and done more than we've ever could have asked from him, and gotten very little in return. He's been a subject matter expert for all things protocol, history, you name it. He stepped in, and he had a big part in this ceremony today. This is also his last day in the White House Communications Agency. He has signed out. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but we want to make sure we get one more award in before the day is over. So, ma'am, attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Defense Meritorious Service Medal to Joe W. McFadden. Master Sergeant Joe W. McFadden, United States Air Force, distinguished himself by outstanding and meritorious service as a training, non-commissioned officer in charge, Visual Information Command, White House Communications Agency from 6 February 2017 to 1 February 2022. During this period, Sergeant McFadden held numerous leadership positions in the command, culminating as the non-commissioned officer in charge of training, and he managed career development of 85 audiovisual technicians, which improved the mission readiness by 60%. Additionally, he was hand-selected as the evaluation officer who set and enforced strict standards responsible for the advancement of 10 audiovisual directors. Sergeant McFadden qualified as highest level audiovisual technician, and he led 119 missions, totaling over 599 days, providing utmost quality broadcast services for the President and Vice President. Finally, Sergeant McFadden provided flawless support for the Digital Multimedia Center as a reproduction and multimedia non-commissioned officer, creating over 273 graphics and print products. The distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant McFadden reflect great credit upon himself, the United States Air Force, and the Department of Defense.
And I know Mom's watching, so thank you, Mom. He's amazing. So Joe told me how his first day was the 75th anniversary. Is that correct?
That's right, ma'am.
Please have a seat. And so to be here today and culminate your amazing 5-year career at WHCA as the voice of WHCA, you're going to be missed. I don't know who's going to announce the president now. And who's going to train everyone. He's trained me too. But to culminate today on our 80th anniversary and our 32nd annual awards, it was just fitting to recognize you and thank you for your service and all that you've done, not just for the agency, but for the President of the United States. So thank you, Joe.
Thank you again so much for the season. Yes, sir. Please.
So now we're going to go back on script. Hey, thanks for doing what you're doing. I just want to go there, but hey, so this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Colonel Jorgensen and I, we kind of teased this a little bit the last MRC, but we're going to unveil this print that you've heard so much about. If you haven't heard about it, I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So last year, when it first dawned on us that we were about to hit our 80th anniversary in WHCA, I asked the team what can we do to represent this agency that will carry on from here on out, but really recognize what we've done in the past and really tie in 80 years of presidential service. And so I've been doing this job for 2.5 decades, and I'll be honest with you, I've had a hard time making comms look cool. It's been very difficult. It's been a challenge. Maybe that's just me personally. I don't know. Maybe y'all are a little bit better than I am. But they reached out and they found an artist who's known across the military art community. He's done a lot of great artwork for various organizations, not just here for U.S. organizations, but overseas as well. And we worked with him closely to provide something that would capture the WHCA communicator, to capture our mission, to capture our heritage and our service members. And what we got back was something that was very incredible. We were very happy to see it. This is going to get unveiled. The first place it's going to go into is our renovated conference room. You can come see it. If you don't want to come see it, you can go buy a print. But no, seriously, this is something that ties in. It represents everything from our service to the first president we served under with President Roosevelt all the way to President Biden today. And it really captures the voice of the president, providing communications across the many decades, the different services of uniform, the men and women that represent this agency. So, ma'am, if you want to come join me, we'll unveil this real quick and kind of see it. Hopefully we don't break it.
Going up.
All right, yep. And there we go.
Hi.
Will you describe it for me?
So if you see, I'll just do a quick description from left to right. You have President Roosevelt. Just below him, you have Colonel McNally standing over the switchboards. WHCA, or this is probably White House Signal Detachment or Army Signal Agency technicians providing communications bottom left, all the way to our travel mission, Joint White House switchboard, representation from our 5 services, and then really supporting the voice of the president through an AV audiovisual event. Full spectrum, the one thing it doesn't have is a HMX helicopter, so for the HMX family out there, I'm
paint
sorry.
one in for you.
We'll throw one on there.
I see the reflection in the dome.
Yeah, I think
here.
it's flying
right
away. There it is. But no, this is we're very proud of it. Please take a time. It's going to be up here for the remainder of the afternoon. Please come take a look at it. And if you would like to have your own, we do have those available in the back. All right. So I think that
So that concludes the formal portion, but we'll turn it back over
Right,
to the illustrious Master Sergeant McFadden.
Thank you very much, and thank you all very much.
He's flustered now. So first,
So first, I just want to say, I thank you for that opportunity. I never asked to be known as the voice of WHCA. I'm grateful for that honor. I hope it was not for how I sounded, but for what I said. And every trip for 80 years, we get to do this. Thank you. Sorry.
Joe McFadden speechless. That's
Oh, sorry. Thank
priceless
you.
right there. Right.
So before we end the ceremony, we'll take part in a storied military tradition, the cutting of the ceremonial birthday cake. And at this time, we'll be asking the youngest WHCA service member and
Most mature.
our most esteemed WHCA service member. Please welcome Sergeant Jelani Briggs and Miss Barbara Renfro. And of course, with the cake and with Miss Renfro here, we gotta sing happy birthday, so please. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear WHCA. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. All right.
It's a real sword. It's okay, it's okay. Ooh, we need candles. And a big thanks to our own star Franz behind the camera who made the cake for us. That's it's a big cake.
Yeah.
I PT today. We're good. We're good. Thank you. You're quite well.
All right.
Oh, no, I'm finishing.
All right.
I said
All
I PT
right.
today.
Wonderful. Yeah, oh, no, thank you all very much. Thank you. So now what we'll do is we're going to do the, ask that everyone please rise for the singing of the Armed Forces Medley. The lyrics can be found on the back of your programs, on the screen as well as in the heart and voice of every service member in the White House Communications Agency. So VIC, hit it. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to wear the title of the United States. Standing out to sea, fight our battle cry. We'll never change our course of vicious, austere eyes. Of the TNT, stickers away. Sail on to victory and sing to victory. Woo! Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the soul. Here they come to meet our thunder, and boys, give us a gun! Down we dive, got our things from under, off we come, hell of a roar. Live and fade, down and live. Hey, nothing to stop the U.S. Air Force. Here we go. We're all ready for that ball. We place our trust in thee. Through service, storm and calm, I shall our purpose lead. Sound our brothers and ride, our fame, our glory too. To fight, to save our right to. I'm Coast Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 32nd annual award ceremony. We want to thank all the men and women of the White House Communications Agency, past and present, for their commitment to excellence supporting 15 presidents for more than 80 years. We hope you've enjoyed today's ceremony. We have refreshments in the adjacent room for your enjoyment. Please take a moment to congratulate this year's awardees on your way out. This has been Master Sergeant Joe W. McFadden, and I approve this message. Have a good night.